Julius Caesar. The name of the most famous Roman leader who has ever ruled. Arguably one of the most brilliant military strategists to have ever fought in a war, and a master in statesmanship, politics, and oratory. But how did he get so famous? What is it that he accomplished in order to achieve such an immortal legacy? And why is a salad, even a month, named after him? Let's take a closer look. Gaius Julius Caesar was born in the year 100 BC into the esteemed Julian family of Rome. Growing up in the heart of the Roman Empire, Caesar experienced the political turmoil that characterized the city during this era. Orphaned at a young age, Caesar demonstrated exceptional intellect and charisma. His early education in oratory and philosophy laid the foundation for his later eloquence and strategic thinking. In 84 BC, at the age of 16, Caesar lost his father, leaving him as the head of the household. In 80 BC, he married Cornelia, the daughter of a prominent political figure, Cinna, aligning himself with influential connections despite the political challenges of the time. However, the rise of Sulla, a powerful dictator, brought complications. Caesar's refusal to divorce Cornelia led to persecution, forcing him into hiding. It was during this period that he perfected his military skills in Asia Minor. Caesar's return to Rome after Sulla's death in 78 BC marked a turning point. Eager to rebuild his political career, he pursued positions of influence, eventually becoming a prosecutor and fighting against corruption among the Roman elite. During his time as a prosecutor, Caesar first gained recognition. He fought fiercely against corruption in the Subura, a lower-class district known for crime and violence. He fought righteously, and he won. He gained even more popularity among the people when his story about being kidnapped by pirates became public. In 75 BC, he was captured by pirates during one of his trips to Rhodos. Unfazed, he maintained his composure and engaged with the pirates, even going so far as to demand they raise his ransom. During his captivity, Caesar formed a playful relationship with his captors, often joking that he would crucify them once he was freed. True to his word, after his release, he returned with a fleet, captured the pirates, and fulfilled his promise. As Caesar continued to climb the political ladder, he reached the position of senior consul in 59 BC. This prestigious role granted him significant influence, allowing him to push forward with his reformist agenda. It was during this consulship that he formed a strategic alliance with two influential figures, Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, or Pompey, and Marcus Licinius Crassus, creating the First Triumvirate. Why did they form an alliance? Well, at that time, the Constitution was in order to prevent any single man from becoming too powerful. Although by forming a secret alliance, these men agreed to help each other in order to achieve their objectives. Caesar's reforms started with a populist move by giving land to some of the poorer citizens of Rome. But during this period, he also created a lot of enemies, since he was viewed as a threat to the Roman aristocracy. Nonetheless, there wasn't much they could do since Caesar gained the admiration of the people for his revolutionary reforms. On the battlefield, Caesar's military campaigns in Gaul, known as the Gallic Wars, 5850 BC, showcased his extraordinary military prowess and strategic brilliance. Leading Roman legions, Caesar secured victories over the Gallic tribes led by Vercingetorix, expanding Roman territories. He defeated his opponents so quickly and effortlessly that many described his style of warfare with the famous quote, "Veni, vidi, vici." Furthermore, the Gallic Wars served as inspiration for the well-known comic series Asterix and Obelix, where the two Gallic soldiers showcased the resistance of Gaul against the Roman legions in a humorous manner. His triumphs in Gaul enhanced his popularity and power, but tensions within the First Triumvirate intensified. The death of Crassus in 53 BC strained the alliance, and by 50 BC relations with Pompey deteriorated. Towards the end of the Gallic Wars, Julius Caesar was accused of being too powerful and therefore a threat to the Senate. Following the marriage between Pompey and one of Caesar's biggest political enemy's daughter, Caesar came back to Rome, ready for battle, and accompanied by his best, most experienced men. This marked the end of the triumvirate and the beginning of a civil war between Julius Caesar and Pompey. After a battle that ended in a draw on Spanish soil, Caesar's outnumbered legions finally defeated Pompey in the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC, and just like this, Caesar gained absolute power in the Roman Empire. It is even said that he remembered every single centurion's name who fought under his leadership in that battle. As a consequence of the civil war, Caesar, now aged 50, becomes dictator of the Roman Empire, putting an end to the Roman Republic. After his defeat, Pompey fled to Egypt, although the pharaoh Ptolemy XIII still ordered his execution. This decision was met with Caesar's anger, since he granted mercy to all of his political enemies in the Senate. But Caesar wasn't done with his story in Egypt. In Egypt, during an ongoing civil war, Caesar became involved by aligning himself with Ptolemy's sister, Cleopatra. He played a crucial role in assisting her to reclaim power. Cleopatra and Caesar even developed a romantic relationship during this time, a love story that went down in the history books. Now the official dictator of Rome, Julius Caesar went on to lead and win many more campaigns, in Africa as well as in the Middle East. But back home, while the people praised him for the great leader he was, he also became more and more hated by the Roman elite. When his dictatorship was extended to 10 more years, his enemies among the aristocracy finally showed themselves. This was in the aftermath of numerous social reforms he had ordered, which targeted tax reform and social equality. On March 15, 44 BC, Julius Caesar was called to the Senate in order to discuss what he thought to be an important states matter. However, he instead found himself surrounded by 60 senators and other enemies who proceeded to fatally stab him a total of 23 times. The whole conspiracy was led by Marcus Junius Brutus, one of Caesar's closest advisors, and William Shakespeare attributes to Caesar the last words, "You too, Brutus?" The people of Rome mourned the death of Julius Caesar and condemned those responsible for the assassination. Their great, charismatic leader was now gone, and many were uncertain what would happen with the now created power vacuum. The conspirators aimed to preserve the Roman Republic by eliminating what they perceived as a threat to its traditional institutions. However, their actions inadvertently led to the rise of Caesar's grandnephew and adopted son, Augustus. The ensuing power struggle, known as the Roman Civil War, culminated in the defeat of the senatorial forces at the Battle of Philippi. Augustus, along with Marcus Antonius, emerged as the dominant figures. The subsequent political settlement, known as the Second Triumvirate, allowed Augustus, Marcus Antonius, and Marcus Aemilius Lepidus to share power. The aftermath of Caesar's assassination marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Augustus, consolidating his power and effectively becoming the first Roman emperor, started the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability. Julius Caesar has gone down in the history books as one of the greatest Roman leaders and military generals of all time. After his death, even his birth month of July was named in his honor. His legacy sparks fascination and debate, while the famous story of his assassination is maybe the biggest betrayal in history. Thank you for your attention.